Good evening and welcome to Daily Bible Kids. We are in the middle of reading Leviticus. Please stop. Thank you. Alright, we're in the middle of reading Leviticus. God is giving his newly released people from Egypt some set of rules of what they can and can't do. First of all, actually I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there. Hopefully today was very enjoyable for you. Now we're going to end it with God's Word. Today, we just got done talking about, the sexual immorality, holiness, and personal conduct. We also talked about punishment for disobedience. What? It doesn't matter. Just leave it alone. Call him, please.
It's not leaking now.
Nope. Now, we are reading today Leviticus chapters 21, 22, and 23. Please put it down. The noises from the water bottles are very distracting. Okay? Alright, chapter 21, Instructions for the Priests. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the priests, the descendant of Aaron. A priest must..." Please stop. I had you guys set to where it's good on camera. Okay? A priest must not make himself ceremonially unclean by touching the dead body of a relative. The only exception are his closest relatives, his mother or father, son, daughter, brother, or his virgin sister who depends on him because she has no husband. But a priest must not defile himself by making himself unclean for someone who is related to him only by marriage. The priests must not shave their heads or trim their beards or cut their bodies. They must be set apart as holy to their God, and must never bring shame on the name of God. They must be holy, for they are the ones who present the special gifts to the Lord, gifts of food for their God. Priests may not marry a woman defiled by prostitution, and they may not marry a woman who is divorced from her husband, for the priests are set apart holy to their God. We must treat them as holy, because they offer up food to your God. You must consider them holy because I, the Lord, am holy, and I make you holy. If a priest's daughter defiles herself by becoming a prostitute, she also defiles her father's holiness, and she must be burned to death. The high priest has the highest rank of all the priests. The anointing oil has been poured over his head, and he has been ordained to wear the priestly garments. He must never leave his hair uncombed or tear his clothing. He must not defile himself by going near a dead body. Can you please stop moving around? He must not defile himself by going near a dead body. He may not make himself ceremonially unclean for his father or mother. He must not defile the sanctuary of his God by leaving it to attend to a dead person, for he has made holy by the anointing oil of his God. I am the Lord. Please stop. What are you doing?
I want to put my arm.
No, just stop. So Moses gave these instructions. Wait. For I am the Lord. Okay. The high priest may marry only a virgin. He may not marry a widow, a woman who is divorced, or a woman who has defiled herself by prostitution. She must be a virgin from his own clan, so that he will not dishonor his descendants among his clan. For I am the Lord who makes him holy. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to Aaron. In all future generations, none of your descendants who has any defect will qualify to offer food to his God. No one who has a defect qualifies, whether he is blind, lame, disfigured, disformed, or a broken foot or arm, or is hunchback, or dwarfed, or has a defective eye, or skin sores, or scabs, or damaged testicles. No descendant of Aaron who has any defect may approach the altar to present special gifts to the Lord. Since he has a defect, he may not approach the altar to offer food to his God. However, he may eat from the food offered to God, including the holy offerings and the most holy offerings, yet because of his physical defect, he may not enter the room behind the inner curtain or approach the altar, for this would defile my holy place. I am the Lord who makes them holy. So Moses gave these instructions to Aaron and his sons and all to the Israelites. Any questions on that chapter?
How short.
No. Alright, 22. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to be very careful with the sacred gifts that the Israelites set apart for me, so they do not bring shame on my holy name. I am the Lord. Give them the following instructions. In all future generations, if any of your descendants is ceremonially unclean, when he approaches the sacred offerings that the people of Israel consecrated to the Lord, he must be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. If any of Aaron's descendants has a skin disease of any kind, or any kind of discharge that makes him ceremonially unclean, he may not eat from the sacred offerings until he has been pronounced clean. He also becomes unclean by touching a corpse, or by having an emission of semen, or by touching a small animal that is unclean, or by touching someone who is ceremonially unclean for any reason. The man who is defiled in any of these ways will remain unclean until evening. He may not eat from the sacred offerings until he has bathed himself in water. When the sun goes down, he will be ceremonially clean again and may eat from the sacred offerings, for this is his food. He may not eat an animal that has died a natural death or has been torn apart by wild animals, for this would defile him. I am the Lord. The priest must follow my instructions carefully. Otherwise, they will be punished for the sin and will die for violating my instructions. I am the Lord who makes them holy. No one outside a priest's family may eat the sacred offerings. Even guests and hired workers in a priest's home are not allowed to eat them. However, if the priest buys a slave for himself, the slave may eat from the sacred offerings. And if the slaves have children, they also may share the food. If a priest's daughter marries someone outside the priestly family, she may no longer eat the sacred offerings. But if she becomes a widow or is divorced and has no children to support her, and she returns to live in her father's home, as in her youth, she may eat her father's food again. Otherwise, no one outside the priest's family may eat the sacred offerings. Any such person who eats the sacred offerings without realizing it must pay the priest for the amount eaten, plus an additional 20%. The priest must not let the Israelites defile the sacred offering brought to the Lord by allowing unauthorized people to eat them. This would bring guilt upon them and require them to pay compensation. I am the Lord who makes them holy. Worthy and unworthy offerings. And the Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites these instructions, which apply both to native Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. If you present a gift as a burnt offering to the Lord, whether it is to fulfill a vow or as a voluntary offering, you will be accepted only if your offering is a male animal with no defects. It may be a bull, a ram, or a male goat. Do not present an animal with defects, because the Lord will not accept it on your behalf. If you present a peace offering to the Lord from the herd or a flock, whether it is to fulfill a vow or a voluntary offering, you must offer a perfect animal." You alright? You okay?
Dad, you think your car's building?
It may have no defect of any kind. You must not offer an animal that is blind, crippled, or injured, or that has a wart, a skin sore, or scabs. Such animals must never be offered on the altar as special gifts to the Lord. If a bull or a lamb has a leg that is too long or too short, it may be offered as a voluntary offering, but it may not be offered to fulfill a vow. If an animal has damaged testicles or is castrated, you may not offer it to the Lord. You must never do this in your own land, and you must not accept such an animal from a foreigner and then offer it as a sacrifice to your God. Such animals will not be accepted on your behalf, for they are mutilated or defective. And the Lord said to Moses, "When a calf or a lamb or a goat is born, it must be left with its mother for 7 days. From the 8th day on, it will be acceptable as a special gift to the Lord. But you must not slaughter a mother animal and her offspring on the same day, whether from the herd or from the flock. When you bring a thanksgiving offering to the Lord, sacrifice it properly, so you will be accepted. Eat the entire sacrificial animal on the day it is presented. Do not leave any of it until the next morning. I am the Lord. You must faithfully keep all my commands and put them into practice, for I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on my holy name, for I will display my holiness among the people of Israel. I am the Lord who makes you holy. It was I who rescued you from the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. I am the Lord. I am hot. Any questions? All right. Chapter 23. The appointed festivals. What's a festival? What?
A festival is something everybody celebrates in either a town or a city.
Okay. What?
A festival is something that is people gathering to celebrate this one thing.
Okay. What?
A festival is there's it's like you could celebrate a party.
Okay. So, in this chapter, which it has different types of festivals. Bless you. So these are the names of the festivals and what you should do during these festivals. The Lord said to Moses, I'm sorry, did you have any questions on 22?
I need to go
Right.
look it up.
And then, hang on, we're almost done here, okay? Alright, 23. The Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. These are the Lord's appointed festivals, which you are to proclaim as official days for holy assembly. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but on the 7th day is a Sabbath day for complete rest, an official day for holy assembly. It is the Lord's Sabbath day, and it must be observed wherever you live. In addition to the Sabbath, these are the Lord's appointed festivals, the official days for holy assembly that are to be celebrated at their proper times each year. First, Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. The Lord's Passover begins at sundown on the 14th day of the first month. On the next day, the 15th day of the month, you must begin celebrating the festival of unleavened bread. This festival to the Lord continues for 7 days. It's a 7-day festival. Okay?
Whole week.
Yeah.
And during that time, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. On the first day of the festival, all the people must stop their ordinary work and observe an official day for holy assembly. For 7 days, you must present special gifts to the Lord. On the 7th day, the people must again stop their ordinary work to observe an official day for holy assembly. Celebration of first harvest. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you enter the land I am giving you, and you harvest its first crops, bring the priest a bundle of grain from the first cutting of your grain harvest. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest will lift it up before the Lord, so it may be accepted on your behalf. On the same day, you must sacrifice a 1-year-old lamb, male, with no defects, as a burnt offering to the Lord. With it, you must present a grain offering consisting of 4 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil. It will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. You must also offer 1 quart of wine as a liquid offering. Do not eat any bread or roasted grain or fresh kernels on the day until you bring this offering to your God. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. The Festival of Harvest. From the first day after the Sabbath, the day you bring the bundle of grain to be lifted up as a special offering, count off 7 full weeks. Keep counting until the day after the 7th Sabbath. 50 days later, then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. From wherever you live, bring 2 loaves of bread to be lifted up before the Lord as a special offering. Make these loaves from 4 quarts of choice flour and bake them with yeast. They will be an offering to the Lord from the first of your crops. Along with the bread, present 7 one-year-old male lambs with no defects, 1 young bull, and 2 rams as burnt offerings to the Lord. These burnt offerings, together with the grain offerings and liquid offerings, will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Then you must offer 1 male goat as a sin offering, and 2 one-year-old male lambs as a peace offering. The priest will lift up the 2 lambs as a special offering to the Lord, together with the loaves representing the first of your crops. These offerings, which are holy to the Lord, belong to the priests. That same day will be proclaimed an official day for Holy Assembly, a day on which you do no ordinary work. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation, wherever you live. When you harvest the crops of your land, do not harvest the grains along the edges of your fields, and do not pick up what the harvesters drop. Leave it for the poor and the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. The Festival of Trumpets. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. On the first day of the appointed month in early autumn, you are to observe a day of complete rest. It will be an official day for a holy assembly, a day commemorated with loud blasts of trumpets. You must do no ordinary work on that day. Instead, you are to present special gifts to the Lord." The Day of Atonement. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Be careful to celebrate the Day of Atonement. On the 10th day of that same month, 9 days after the Festival of Trumpets. You must observe it as an official day, for a holy assembly, a day to deny yourselves, and present special gifts to the Lord. Do not work during the entire day, because it is the Day of Atonement, when offerings of purifications are made for you, making you right with the Lord your God. All who do not deny themselves that day will be cut off from God's people. And I will destroy anyone among you who does any work on that day. You must not do any work at all." That's in exclamation marks. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. This will be a Sabbath day of complete rest for you, and on the day that you must deny yourselves. This day of rest will begin at sundown on the 9th day of the month and extended until sundown on the 10th day. Festival of Shelters. And the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Begin celebrating the Festival of Shelters on the 15th day of the appointed month, 5 days after the Day of Atonement. This festival to the Lord will last for 7 days. On the first day of the festival, you must proclaim an official day for holy assembly when you do no ordinary work. For 7 days you must present special gifts to the Lord. On the 8th day is another holy day on which you present your special gifts to the Lord. This will be a solemn occasion, and no ordinary work may be done on this day. These are the Lord's appointed festivals: Celebrate them each year as official days for Holy Assembly by presenting special gifts to the Lord. Burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, liquid offerings, each on its proper day. These festivals must be observed in addition to the Lord's regular Sabbath days, and the offerings are in addition to your personal gifts. The offerings you give to fulfill your vows, and the voluntary offerings you present to the Lord. Remember that this 7-day festival to the Lord, the Festival of Shelters, begins on the 15th day of the appointed month after you have harvested all the produce of the land. The first day of the 8th day of the festival will be days of complete rest. On the first day, gather branches from magnificent trees, palm fronds, boughs from leafy trees, and willows that grow by the streams. Then celebrate with joy before the Lord your God for 7 days. You must observe this festival to the Lord for 7 days each year. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed in the appointed month from generation to generation. For 7 days you must live For 7 days you must live outside in little shelters. All native-born Israelites must live in shelters. This will remind each new generation of Israelites that I made their ancestors live in shelters when I rescued them from the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses gave the Israelites these instructions regarding the annual feasts of the Lord. Any questions? Okay, so I did want to bring up, what was it? Yesterday, day before, I did cut off the video a little early. I do want to apologize for that. Also, I did extend the time to 2 minutes at the beginning. It allows me to share the video out early instead of doing it afterwards, so that way everybody can watch us live instead of waiting until it's all done and they miss everything. In case they have questions during the show, I can have it pulled up real quick and answer any questions you've got, which looks like nobody has anything. So, with that being said, I did mention, I think yesterday we had 4 days. I made a mistake, it was actually 3. So tomorrow and the next day, I believe, is
Today's
1, 2, yeah. We have 2 more days of Leviticus, and then we'll get into Numbers. Other than that, you guys have an amazing night, and God bless. Stay awesome.